Power is needed to reach objectives in all organizations, and power affects performance. Like power, politics is important to organizational performance. People who use organizational politics tend to use different behavior than those who do not, and people using proper etiquette behave differently than those who don't. An unethical etiquette hurts human relations and performance. All in all, power and political behavior can either be ethical or unethical. Ethical power in politics includes behavior that benefits both the individual and the organization. There are two sources of power: position power and personal power. Position power is derived from top-level management and delegated down the chain of command. Personal power is derived from the person. Everybody has personal power to varying degrees. The use of coercive power involves threats and/or punishment to influence compliance. Out of fear that non-compliance will lead to negative consequences, people do as requested. Other examples of coercive power include verbal abuse, humiliation, and ostracism. Coercive power is appropriate to use in maintaining discipline when enforcing rules. When an employee is not willing to do as the manager requests, the manager may use coercive power to gain compliance. However, it's advisable to keep the use of coercive power to a minimum because it hurts human relations and ultimately productivity. Connection power is based on the user's relationship with influential people. It relies on the use of contacts and friends who can influence the person you're dealing with. The right connections can give you the perception of having power, and they can give you actual power. If people know you are friendly with people in power, they're more apt to do as you request. Legitimate power is based on the user's position power, which is given by the organization. Employees tend to feel that they ought to do what a supervisor says within the scope of the job. The use of legitimate power is appropriate when asking people to do something that's within the scope of their jobs. Most day-to-day interactions are based on legitimate power. Referent power is based on the user's personal power. A person using reference power relies on personality and the relationship to gain compliance. For example, say, "Will you please do it for me?" not, "This is an order." Information power is based on the user's information being desired by others. Managers rely on other persons' needs for information they possess. Expert power is based on the user's skill and knowledge. Being an expert makes other people dependent on you. The fewer people who possess the skill or knowledge, the more power the individual who has it will have. People often respect an expert. Expert power is essential to people who have to work with other folks from other departments or organizations. Your power is your ability to influence others to do something they wouldn't otherwise do. So along with power sources and bases, you need to have persuasion skills. Persuasion takes careful preparation and proper presentation of arguments and supporting evidence in an appropriate and compelling way. Like power, politics often has a negative connotation due to people who abuse political power. However, politics is critical in our career success. In our economy, money is the medium of exchange. In an organization, politics is that medium. Managers cannot meet their objectives without the help of other people and departments over which they have no authority or positional power. So you need to work within the system to climb the corporate ladder. Politics is the process of gauging and using power. As you can see from the definition, power and politics goes hand in hand. Political behavior is used to develop relationships that are necessary to get the job done. Three primary political behaviors commonly used in organizations are networking, reciprocity, and coalition building. Networking is the process of developing relationship alliances with key people for the purpose of politicking. Reciprocity involves creating obligations and debts, developing alliances, and using them to accomplish your objectives. Many organizational decisions that are supposed to be made during a meeting or vote are actually decided through coalition building. And then finally, etiquette. When using power or politics, our behavior should be ethical and use proper business etiquette. Business etiquette, often referred to as manners, is the code of behavior expected in work situations. Etiquette skills can be improved as young people today are taking etiquette classes. If you haven't been concerned with business etiquette, start now because etiquette is important.